Hi, and welcome to the Weekly Well. Over the next little while, as we go into the fall, I would like to look at some characters of the Old Testament. And there are a few that stand out for me. The first one that I want to talk about, the first character is Abraham. Abraham, of course, as we know, has been given this promise by God that he would be made into a great nation, that his descendants would be more numerous than can be counted. And so he's waiting and waiting for this promise to get fulfilled. He has yet to have a son. He and Sarah do not have a child. And so they're waiting for this to happen. And in their old age, suddenly, there it is, it happens. And then a little while later in Genesis, in chapter 22, we read that God asks Abraham to go up onto the mountain and to sacrifice his son Isaac, his only son. Abraham must be wondering what's going on. How can this be? How is it that we're going to become a great nation if I'm now going to sacrifice the one and only offspring that I have? But Abraham has learned over his time with his walk with the Lord how he simply needs to trust in God's plan. He needs to trust God with the plan. And so he goes up onto the mountain and he has everything ready, the wood for the sacrifice, and they carry on. And there's a line in that story that strikes me every time I read it. Because he goes up the mountain with a number of servants, and then he says to his servants, we will go on a little further, we will sacrifice to the Lord, and then we will return. Somehow Abraham knows that God is simply going to provide for him and provide what is necessary to fulfill the promise that he has made. And so, as you know, God stops him from actually sacrificing Isaac, provides a ram that is caught in the bushes, and they sacrifice that to the Lord. And indeed, they return to the servants and they all head back home. The lesson for me is clear. Even when I don't understand what God is doing, I need to trust not only in God's plan, but I need to trust Him with the plan. And when I'm called to do things that make no sense or that seem contrary to what the plan is, I have to simply trust God and be obedient to what He's calling me to do. I pray that you would be encouraged to be that obedient and that trusting in the plan that God has. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.